All right, Facebook family, Jack J's family. I got Coach Brown. Coach Brown, what is your real name?
Robert Brown.
And Rob, and what did you attend the school here in Houston or what?
No, I didn't.
Uh-huh.
I attend most of my schooling in Galveston.
So you kind
And
of
then
went
we,
to Galveston Central.
Central. I went to
Yeah, I
Central
heard
for
of
a year.
Central. Okay.
I went to Central for a year, and then we moved to Lamar. Couldn't
You,
buy a house in Galveston. We bought a house. Parents bought a house in Lamar,
so you from Galveston County?
Galveston County. That's right.
I mean, because yeah, I mean, you know all this good history. So I got to get some history about you because you history by itself.
Oh no.
I mean, yeah, they just. I mean, I'm being straight up because see, I know about Galveston County because I was a supervisor and sales manager for Rainbow Bread. So
All right.
yeah, so I know a lot of Mitchell Lady, all them stores back
Okay.
off in there.
Back
Yeah,
off
Wine
in
Garden
there.
had a store
That's
back
right.
there.
That's
So
right.
I mean, I'm familiar with the area.
Yeah.
I mean, but now I didn't know Galveston Central was that old and so much history in Galveston. A guy told me
Was
about
Central?
Jack Johnson was from Galveston.
Central is the oldest school, oldest black school in Texas. And all the small areas like Dickerson, Hitchcock, Lamarck, all of those areas that had blacks in it had to be bused into where? Into Central.
Central in Galveston.
And, okay, then, so that made Central a big school. Then, like, if I'm not mistaken, like 48, 49, Lamar got a high school.
Okay.
Okay, then but very young,
Right.
very young. And like 55, 56, maybe 57, Dickerson and Hitchcock got a new school. And what happened was they built a new school, and then all of a sudden what happened? Integration came.
But now,
They built a new black school.
but this is my intent and my intellection or my thing about knowing about Galveston Central because we at Yates we had to play Galveston Central.
That's right.
And the guy was telling me how much rich was Galveston Central. It was there. How old was Galveston? Was it older than Booker T or was they, I don't know, because Galveston got a lot of rich heritage in it that people don't even know about.
But see, you have to understand the history.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What made Galveston? The seaport
The seaport.
made Galveston. All the ships would come in. The slaves would come in and be distributed throughout the state of Texas and Galveston.
Talk to me. That's what I want to know.
That
So in other words, when the slaves was coming in, they was coming to Galveston
first.
first.
Okay. June 19, the boats came in to Galveston to tell us that we were free on June the 19th.
Right.
Okay, then that's why we celebrated.
Uh,
It took those ships that long to come in.
To give us that information
Give us
that
that-
Abraham Lincoln had already signed, the
that's
Declaration
of Independence.
of Independence.
That's it. That was
Now, and so therefore, when blacks was coming in from slaves to this country, they was going to Galveston first
Galveston first. In this area,
in this area in the South.
in the South, they were going to Galveston. Now, remember, Galveston it was a seaport, and it was taking all of the cotton that we had grown. It was taking all the cotton back up to the east, because on the east side was all of the what? Industrials.
Industrial area.
That's where they made the clothes and stuff.
Close that. So they
Okay.
needed our.
They needed our
our
cotton to make the clothes.
Yeah, because I know coming up, people say, well, black used to work out in the cotton field.
Fields. Oh man.
Yeah, and
That's
that was the job. If you don't go to school, well, you just get a job out in the cotton field picking cotton,
That-
and they pay you so much
But-
money per pound that you
right.
pick on the cotton.
It's amazing. My mother would talk about that, and she said she would put rocks in the sack to make it heavier.
They'll make it heavy.
That's right.
Now, in your time, we wasn't picking cotton at that time.
No,
We had moved up from
we
that.
had moved up from
to that era.
That's right. That's
But
right.
we still was in a segregated
Gated
area.
And most of us were working at service stations, restaurants, hotels,
Yeah, washing dishes.
washing dishes.
Because there wasn't no black waiters. Black waiters didn't come in until I almost came in.
During the
Very few.
40s, my daddy was a head waiter at one of the big clubs in Galveston.
But that's like a private club.
That was a private club.
I'm talking about waitress like at Woolworth. Where you had to eat. You couldn't even eat at the lunch
That's
counter.
right. That's right.
So you know you couldn't have no black
That's
waitresses
right.
if you can't even eat at the lunch counter.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I knew they had waitresses at these private clubs because I had a friend of mine. Daddy was a waitress up there at the River Oaks.
That's right. River Oaks Club. That's right.
But in a regular restaurant, a public restaurant, blacks did not have those jobs.
They did not.
And even on the cash register, we didn't have those jobs.
No.
I mean, this was when I come behind y'all.
Even the city buses.
No, the city buses didn't hire blacks.
No, they did not.
Now, if you was wanting to be a bus driver, you had to go work for a Pioneer Bus Company, which was a black bus company.
That's right.
You know?
That's
So,
right.
I mean, so now, let's talk about this Galveston County, man, because, you know, I mean, I always, coming up, man, I always heard about Dickerson, Texas. Because, you know, I used to be one of them little guys that used to try to race, and they talk about the gay boys and gay Pontiacs, you know, and I, you know,
right.
and then, you know, and I used to, you know, and I say, man, I told another guy, I said, man, you can't beat them white boys, man. Them white boys there, they own the Pontiac
Right,
dealership, man.
That's right. They got access.
They got assets that we can't even get.
That's right. That's really right.
But, you know, but then too, knowing Galveston, so I know Galveston being the oldest school, so it was there before Booker T. Washington.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Yes,
And
it
this
was.
is something that
People don't know.
don't know. And,
People don't know.
Facebook family, Jack Yates family, you know,
Well-
if you were like me, you would think the oldest black school would be Booker T. Washington. And it's not. Yes, it's the oldest black school in Houston. That we would stick together. If we seen something that wasn't right, black people would boycott it. That's when we used to have the bread basket.
We had no other choice.
Yeah, when we used
That's
to have with bread basket, Plural Marshall used to be
Plural
over,
Marshall.
was over the bread basket.
Until
And
he-
if they seen something that wasn't that we was getting mistreated,
That's right.
we would pull together and we wouldn't shop there.
Yeah.
But see, now we are so spread out,
Until we have no power.
we have no power. You know,
Right.
and then now we ain't the only minority here.
Yeah.
You know, and they trying to put the way it's coming, the way from what I'm saying is that Hispanics has not been to be a minority no more. They are a majority.
Majority. That's right.
And the whites are not very pleased with that. I mean,
But what goes around comes around. It just takes time. That's all.
you know, and I really enjoyed it. And some of this stuff I know it ain't on the books, but we talking about Black history, and this is all part of being in the Black history, and because in my generation,
It makes it a part of it. That's
it
right.
makes it part of it, and we had a big part of it. When I say we, that means we, the people of the 62s, 63s, and the 60s.
That's right.
Because this is when the black movement started coming on. And when it reached my point, and me being a teenager, it was like in the 63, when I was a teenager, then John F. Kennedy got assassinated, and then therefore it was that, hey man, everybody's life was who was helping blacks, their lives, you know, their lives was at stake.
That's right.
You know, that's why when Martin Luther King got assassinated and Robert Kennedy got assassinated, you know, and all of this was during the 68 period. Remember I was telling you about the 68 was when they said, hey, it ain't going to be no more two books no more. It's going to be one book.
One book, and that's what we tried to get.
And that's what we tried to get. And it's so good because...
And all the records of the PVIL is in the books now.
And that's what we
can
trying
rest.
to do
Yeah,
right now with our black schools, Mr. Brown.
Trying to keep that legacy going.
But it's so hard, Mr. Brown, because you got so many blacks want to go our different ways. And see, when I was coming up and the way y'all brought us up, we all stuck on the same page.
That's right.
Because we didn't have all these privileges like they got today. Our privileges was limited. And now we have classes that, just like Sylvester said about Juneteenth. He said, man, we're going to hopefully we're going to just try to have one Juneteenth parade. And I mean, it's just like our class or Jack Yates' class. Hey, I mean, I'm telling you like this. You don't like it, it is what it is. All this fighting, you got all these different alumni. Some of these people are using the school to make money. They buying, they printing up shirts. That this money can go to the school district.
That's right.
Not put this money into the school, because HISD is not putting no money in the school. Well, I pay my school taxes, it ain't enough. HISD want you, since you call yourself alumni, they want you to put some money back in your school. Don't just graduate and get your diploma. Am I right or wrong?
You're right. You're right.
And
you have to give something back.
And all of this fighting, and this is my class, y'all finish in my class. And like I would tell them, your class ain't bigger than the school.
That's right.
Stop tripping on your class. Who give a doggone about your class? Because the school was there when your class got there. And the school was there when your class left. And the school is still there.
That's right.
So eliminate your school, your class, and talk about your class doing something for the school to be recognized.
That's it.
Still are just saying, oh yeah, I'm the class of such and such a class, and we giving this here, and you're not in our class, you can't come. Hey, man, I went to that school, why in the heck I can't come? But you didn't finish with us, so what?
That's right. It's all for you.
And see, and this is why they closing, these white people are capitalizing on our cutting up each other. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
You older than me.
You're right.
They're capitalizing on us fighting each other.
You have to learn how to stick together.
And this
if not, you'll be just like crabs in a bucket.
But this is something that y'all injected in us. Why do we wait to get 60 years old and over 50 years old to start fighting over something like we running something? We not running nothing. We done already been through that school. Stop trying to tell the school what they need to do.
That's right.
If these young people that going to this school, if they want a new school, let them have it. Yeah. If that's what they want. Or they don't know what they want. Who are you to tell what they want? Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
I'm talking to you, Jack Yates family. I know some of y'all might cut me off, but I really don't care. Because we got to stop fighting each other and come together and start working together and trying to put all our differences aside, that I don't like him because of this and that, and forget all of that. We in the purpose of one thing, trying to preserve Jack Yates as part of a black high school, because they are chopping up schools. There's no more Central.
It's gone.
It's gone. There's no Charleston Parlor. It's gone. There's no more Heber. It's gone.
There's no more MC Williams.
No more MC Williams.
As a high school.
It's gone. It's to the point that if we don't come together and try to get with these young people and give these young people this knowledge. And then I heard some of them say, Mr. Brown, they tell me, oh, they don't want to learn nothing. I ain't no sister. You can't tell them nothing. How you know if you never told them?
If you never, that's right. You have
and y'all raised us better than this. You know, I look at the Fabulous 50s and I cry because I know the sacrifice they did to get us in the 60s to be able to do the things that we was being able to do. We didn't have the strength to fight them white people, but they gave us the strength. That's why the doors were knocked down in some of these colleges like UT. Because that whole Southwest Conference, and I can name them, Texas UT, Texas A&M, Baylor, SMU, and Rice.
That's right.
They was part of a Southwest Conference. And there are no blacks that ever go there. In Baylor, they could not go to those schools. I don't care how smart they were.
That was in the bylaws. That was in the bylaws.
It was a law.